guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Meredith and I'm so glad you're hanging out with me today. It looks a little bit different. We are just trying to figure out my spot in this place. I set up my whole makeup station, but I tend to every morning be sitting in front of my mirror and then being like, so I come sit right here, which is in front of my window. So that's where you have found me today. I thought it would be really fun. I've gotten a lot of questions about how I got into aesthetics, how I got into makeup and skincare, and how that all started. And I'm just gonna be getting ready for work this morning, putting on just a little bit of work makeup. And I thought I would just kind of share some of that with y'all this morning while I was getting ready. So if you're interested in learning and me just talking and chatting with me for a little bit on how I got started in skincare and makeup, just keep watching. I'm gonna try and walk through what I'm using while I'm talking. If I miss anything, everything I use today, I'll put in order down below if I skip over something during my story. But so it all started even just growing up. Like, my dad did not let us wear makeup until we were like 12. But I was much younger than 12 and I wanted to wear my sister's mascara. I wanted to wear my mom's lipstick. I was like so into it. And first up, I've already done all of my skincare, put on my vitamin C and my moisturizer and my sunscreen and let that soak in for a minute. And now we're ready for makeup. So now let's get started. But I was like sneaking around and like trying to do that before I was 12 because I just loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And he didn't really love that, but I really wanted to wear makeup because I just thought it would be so fun to wear makeup. So I was always really into that. And by the time I was like 11 or 12, I was using Mary Kay. They're like clear proof, I think it was their line. But I had a whole skincare regimen from them at like the age of like 11, which, because I was like, I need to be taking care of my skin. I was like, I do not want to have bad skin. I was like really concerned about my skin, and I like did not have a pimple on my face, but I was very concerned about getting a pimple on my face. So I started using skincare from Mary Kay because my mom used to sell Mary Kay. Long story there. And Mary Kay was just like in my small town what people used. So that's what we did. Okay, side note, I'm using my Marc Jacobs bronzer in Tantric, 102 Tantric. And I haven't been wearing any foundation lately. I've just been wearing bronzer. So this is just on clean skin. I'm using just bronzer because I don't want to wear foundation right now because summertime. But fast forward to when I'm like 16, I had the opportunity to work at a medical day spa, and I took the opportunity. It was awesome. I worked as, my official name was the aesthetic coordinator, but really I was like a front desk girl, receptionist. I helped people with skincare because I just knew everything about the skincare and I loved it. They had a private label there, which was really fun to work with. So I got to know a lot about the product, got to sit in for a lot of trainings, which was awesome at like 16 to get to sit in on really expensive trainings. I got the opportunity to Miami and go to a massive aesthetics convention down there, which was awesome. I got to do some makeup classes by people that do makeup on like celebrities in New York City and sit in on makeup classes there and do a lot of cool skin classes as well. So I really enjoyed that. And so that kind of like just furthered my spark. And honestly, I had planned to work for this place forever because obviously they had provided a lot of awesome opportunities for me. But I just had this feeling that that's not where I was supposed to be. There's a lot of just things that happened that made me think that this isn't where I want to be forever and ever and ever. And I really had to trust the Lord that that was the right decision because I felt like working there was the right decision at the time, but I just wasn't getting that peace and clarity anymore. And so I had to make that decision because she said that they would pay for my school, and like they were already setting up a room for me for when I got back from aesthetics school to work there. And I had to make a leap of faith and trust the Lord and say that I would like to just go on my own and do it myself. And so that's what I did. I went to aesthetic school, and I'm gonna tell y'all, in my tiny town that I'm from, when people would ask me what I'm gonna do after college, and I didn't say a 4-year school, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go be an esthetician, they'd be like, oh, well, what else are you gonna do to make income? Like, what else are you gonna do? Because you can't make any money doing that. Because in my town, people don't make good money being an esthetician, and that's just a little town. But I knew I was not gonna stay in that little town long. Also, I'm using my Osmosis press base powder in the color Golden Medium, and I'm just using that underneath my eyes as like concealer, but it's just a powder to just kind of cover up my dark circles a little bit, and I take it on my eyelids where I have some discoloration as well. So fast forward, it's 2018. In the fall, I go to aesthetic school in Greenville, and it was the best and worst experience of my life. I loved school. My teacher was absolutely fantastic. We did have some like management in our department that was trash, but we got through it. There was some crazy girls in there, but we got through it, and it was really fun. I met some of my lifelong friends that I'm still friends with today there, which they've been like the biggest blessing in my life. Also, I'm putting on my Nars blush in Orgasm just with a Real Techniques blush brush, just to give my life some color. So that was really, really fun. But going to school now, I didn't have a job set up afterwards, and that was really scary for me because I knew I wouldn't make any money in my town being an esthetician. And I really had this desire to be in Greenville, but I didn't have the connections, and I didn't have all those people around me to support me because I didn't know anyone really in Greenville. So that was kind of a big struggle for me because I wanted to be in Greenville, but I didn't have the opportunity to be in Greenville. So one day at school, a lady came and spoke, and she spoke about something called microcurrent, which is something I'll have to get into another day. But I was like, oh my gosh, like this is mind-blowing. I loved what she was talking about, and she had a very holistic viewpoint of aesthetics. And when you're going into aesthetics, you can do basically anything. You could do lash extensions for the rest of your life. You could work in a dermatologist's office. You could work in a plastic surgeon's office. You could work for yourself. You could work in a hair salon. Like, you could work anywhere and do anything. And my specific niche was internally in the body, has so much to do with what's going on outside of the body. And that was kind of a deep passion for me. And no one really understood that because it's just not a very popular opinion. But she came and spoke, and she was talking all about that, and my eyes were like this big. I was like, this is her. I was like, this is it. And I mean, like, she had no employment opportunities. She rented one tiny little room with one bed, one sink, one tiny bathroom, and that was it. And she worked and had an incredible business of being a holistic esthetician out of this tiny room, which was absolutely mind-blowing to me. After she came to speak, I called my mom that day after school, and I was like, Mom, you will not believe this. I was like, I'm gonna work for this woman one day. I was like, she doesn't know it. I was like, she doesn't even like know who I am really, other than like the 2 minutes we got to talk. I was like, but I'm gonna work for her one day. I was like, this is my woman. I was like, this is who I want to work for. But like I said, she didn't have any employment opportunity. Look at this piece of hair. She did not have any employment opportunities because she just had that tiny little room. And so, I mean, I just assumed that I would never get to, but I was like determined to work for her. Little did I know that she liked me. And she asked my teacher at school, like, a reference for me. She came and got some services done by me at school. And apparently liked me. And when I was done with school, so I went to school in August and I graduated in December of 2018 as well. And she texted me, she got my number from my teacher, and she texted me and she said, Meredith, I have some exciting things going on this next year in January, and I want to sit down and talk with you and see if you might be interested in some opportunities. And I like started crying in the middle of class when I got that text. I was like, no way is this happening to me. No way. So I've also just been really loving these like big fluffy natural brows, and I'm just using the Brow Glue by NYX. It's the bomb. They'll stay just like that all day. So that's what I've been doing, super simple. So fast forward to the middle of December, we sit down, we have coffee, and she's like, Meredith, all I have right now, opportunity-wise for you to work is on the weekends, because she worked Monday through Thursday, and she's like, you can work Fridays and Saturdays, fill up a schedule. She's like, but one day I'm gonna open a big spa. She's like, one day I'm gonna open a big spa called Oasis Day Spa. It's gonna be Scandinavian inspired. It's gonna be beautiful and massive. She's like, and I wanna open one in Greenville. She's like, I wanna open an aesthetic school. I wanna open maybe another spa in Columbia or Charleston. She's like, and I want you to help me, and I want you to help me run them and train the girls and maybe even teach at the school. And I'm like, yes, yes, and yes. Because what she didn't know was I almost didn't go to school for aesthetics and went for business, because I really love business. My dad's a small business owner, and I just kind of have really always loved that field. But it was just like the Lord confirming in that moment my obedience to go to school for aesthetics, even when it sounded scary, because he had a much bigger plan than what I could come up with. So I started working for her in 2019, and I got my license because I had to take my exams in January. And then I started working for her right after, and she trained me and called me to a higher level of excellence than anyone else in my life has ever done. She prepared me for a lot of things I didn't know I could even need to be prepared for. And I worked for her on the weekends for about a year. And then she bought a building, and we started building Oasis Day Spa. And it has been an incredible journey. And now I work full-time as lead esthetician at Oasis Day Spa, and I have the incredible opportunity to work side by side with her, which is still the greatest blessing of my life. And it has been the craziest ride, because it's like living in that limbo of just working on the weekends, but like knowing you're gonna get to so much more. You just have to push through. I had to push through a year of only doing aesthetics on the weekends, and I worked at a cute little coffee shop during the week, so it was fun. But I'm now moved to Greenville, living in my apartment, working full-time, living with my best friend, and it's the greatest thing in my life. But the biggest blessing is what I do. I love getting to help people with their skin, figuring out people's problems when it comes to their skin, and helping them get to that level of confidence with their skin, whether that's hyperpigmentation or acne or rosacea, whatever it is. I want to be able to fix it. I love helping people, because a lot of times it's a big deal to them, but to everyone else, they're like, oh my gosh, small potatoes. But to them, it's a big problem. And so I love making other people's problems my problem and fixing it for them. And it's the absolute greatest job in the entire world. So I hope that this just kind of explains a little bit of the crazy story of how I got where I am today. There's so much more to this story that I'm gonna tell one day. I want to tell the story of like my skin journey, kind of like how I've gotten my skin to where it was, and I want to show y'all pictures of what I came from, because it has not always been great for me. I have some really funny pictures of my eyebrows from a couple of years ago. So I'm gonna do another video talking through my skin journey of how I got my skin to be like it is today, which is in no way perfect as in photoshopped, because no one's skin looks like that. But like I have some breakouts here because I'm about to start my period. Wait, and I have one here. So no one's perfect, okay? But people are like, well, my skin's not perfect. I'm like, what is perfect skin? You know, what even is it? Everyone's skin is so different. So anyways, it's been a long journey since I was like 11 years old to know what I wanted to do. I know that I'm seriously blessed because not everyone knows what they want to do at the small age of 11, but I'm thankful and grateful and very blessed to have known what I wanted to do and that I gotten to do it, which has been really fun. Now I'm just putting on some mascara. This is a really dried up tube. I don't know why I'm using this, but this is a Lash Sensational by Maybelline. I have like so many tubes of them. I like always grab the dried up one over the fresh one. I don't know why. Last but not least, in my getting ready, I use my Image skincare. This is their lip balm. It's my favorite. I love it, and it doesn't make my lips feel sticky, and it doesn't make them feel like they need chapstick again in about 5 seconds. So that's kind of what I do every day. Very simple, very easy. Now I need to go tame this beast, but I'm so glad you got to sit with me and hang out, and I got to tell you all about how I got where I am today in my career and doing aesthetics and doing what I love to freaking do every single day of my life, and it's so much fun. Maybe aesthetics is something you want to do, or maybe you want to do something completely different, but my main advice for you is just trust the Lord, and when a door is opened, take the leap of faith and step out. You never know where it's going to lead and what he has in store, because if I had stuck with my plan in my safety zone in the beginning, I don't think I would be where I am today by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm so thankful to be here. I'm thankful to have you guys and to get to share my life and my passion with you guys on YouTube and on Instagram and in person if we're friends in person. And if we're not, we're YouTube friends, which is so fun. So I hope this was fun and entertaining and that you learned something. Well, I love you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Like I said, all the products I used will be down below on how I do my everyday, very, very simple makeup routine. No foundation, just a couple products to help out. Since we're wearing a mask all day, it's not really like anyone sees my face anyways. Alrighty, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out so much, and I'll see you next week.